not going to get a second chance in the game.
Welcome back, coaches. I haven't made a video in a little bit. Just been busy with other life stuff, but excited to be back in front of the camera talking a little ball. And today I'm talking about RPOs. Now listen, I'm not an RPO expert. I'm an under center guy, but I clinic all the time, right? By nature of Chief Pigskin. I'm listening to guys all the time. And when I look at RPOs, I'm constantly going, man, could my kids do that? When I say my kids, for the last good chunk of my career, have been at a very small school. And when I look at the guys that I've got and the quarterbacks that I have and a lot of these RPOs, I look at them and I go, I'm not sure my kids could do that. So I like to make these videos for the newer coaches, the youth coaches, your everyday coach. I think that those upper echelon coaches, meaning the guys at the biggest high schools, right? You're at this 8A high school or the largest division in your state, right? Those guys are learning from other guys, the guys who play football on TV. But what about the rest of us Joes that coach at your everyday school, that are coaching for the 7th and 8th grade team in town? I really like to gear my videos to these types of guys, the guys that coach in the same world that I do. And when I look at a lot of these RPOs, I see them as too difficult for my kids to execute. And the reason is, number one, I've learned, and I learned this a long time ago, reading is difficult on a quarterback during the play, right? Snap the ball, and now you want me to look at someone and make a decision on what they're doing, and you want me to make this play. Want me to make this decision now and decide whether or not to give a ball or keep a ball. That's hard. It's hard. It's doable. It's hard. Okay. Which anytime I say something's difficult to do, that's always going to equate to a lot of practice time. All right. So now I'm talking about a large investment. The number two thing that's difficult, and I see in most basic RPOs, is an in-breaking route. And I learned, again, a long time ago, that the most difficult passes to throw are in-breaking routes. For whatever reason, they're more difficult to time up for the quarterback. They're more difficult for the other kid to catch, right? I'm going inward towards traffic, and I've got to catch that ball in traffic. So those are two things I look at and I go, man, that's a lot to ask. I don't know if I would do it. But this past week, 2 weeks ago, whenever I was just in Tennessee at Kirkwood High School with Chad Watson, who's coaching there. It's a brand new high school. They've been open for 3 years. He's already got them playing really good football, one of the best teams in Clarksville area, if not the best. And he did a 3-video series. They're big time on their GT series. He's got 1 million tags off of it. Had some great play action stuff, had some great RPO stuff, but his most basic 2 tags, their first 2 installs, in my opinion, I looked at that and I went, that right there would be the first RPOs I would install. If I was in a system where I wanted to go gun, or I was in the gun, and this is what we did in my town, my community. We're in the gun. We consider ourselves a spread team. We like being multiple, but we want to start considering RPOs because they can be deadly. These are the first 2 I would add. So let's hit the whiteboard without further ado, and let me show you these first 2 RPOs. This is what I would do. First of all, their base play is GT counter, right? So let's run counter away from the strength. We've got a basic 3-by-1 formation with this little tight end, your Y. We'll make this guy the Y. This is our tight end. He's your H-back. He's capable of blocking from here. Most often they're putting him kind of stacked on this tackle. But from here, he can insert and block, yet he's in a good position that he could escape and get into a pass route. So they want to run GT counter. Now, GT counter by itself is an incredible run scheme, usable in darn near every offense there is, from under center to the gun. Everyone uses GT, darn near everyone. But they run it well. So you have to be careful. I won't say most coaches. Some coaches can easily look at a scheme and go, oh, yeah, we can do that, right? But it's important to be good at this, right? I just drew up 5 lines and we act like we can be done here. No, you've got to invest a lot of time in being a threat with this running scheme. Now, what I love about GT from the gun, from pistol more specifically, is that so naturally your guy in the pistol simply takes the handoff on the right and veers back left. And just the initial action of taking the handoff on the right is an influence to the play side, and your quarterback opening up this way is an influence in this direction for those linebackers, which sets up your counter. So it's just such a simple little setup. Now we're getting into the first, these are the first two RPOs that I would run. First, their first tag. And again, Coach's 3-video series, let's put the little thumbnails up here. His first one, these come from the first video, and these are just their basic two, right? So I'm just giving you, I guess, like a little taste, man. Their first one is flat. So they are blocking this number one receiver, of course, going to block the corner. And then your number two receiver is going to block the most dangerous man, right? So that guy could move around a little bit. So I'll draw that line up in a second. Your Y is simply going to run to the flat. Now, they're encouraging this man to stay at the line of scrimmage, and that's so that you can legally block in front of him and still throw him the ball, right? Because if it's at or behind the line of scrimmage, that would be considered a screen. Or, I guess, in theory, a run play, right? You can block for a ball that's been thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Now, this is how I would run it. He's running it at a more advanced level, which you'll see they're really, truly reading this outside man. And that part I'm going to leave out, because these are the first RPOs I was running, that's not where I would start. I would start with the first part of his RPO, which is this. They're going to make the decision, are we going to throw it to our tight end, or are we going to run the ball, right? And are we going to truly read him? And then the quarterback, if you get to this level, could decide between giving or pulling. But for now, the quarterback's going to decide, do I have the numbers out here to throw this little flat route? If I do, I'll throw it. When in doubt, coach says, run it, right? Give it. When in doubt, give it. But if the numbers look good out here, take this gift. If they're giving you a gift, take it. So let's look at some scenarios that look like good numbers. If they are out here with 1, 2, and a third right over this, which a lot of teams will do, almost like they're manning it up, right? They got a man on this Y, and you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 3 on 3. They're going to not take that. They're going to go ahead and let's run the ball. We're going to hand this off. But if you're looking out here and they've got 1, 2, and this last guy is way the heck off and pedaling at 12 yards, they're going to take this. We'll block this most dangerous man. They're taking 2 on our 3, and we'll take this. This is a gift of yardage. So that quarterback will quit. Will still show. He'll open and show that counter, and then let's sling it out there, an easy throw to the flat. Now, so this is an RPO. You've got a run-pass option. Both you're blocking and executing 2 plays at once. You're executing GT counter over here, and you are executing the Y flat concept over here. So you've got an RPO, right? So you don't have your RPO, especially your first RPO, especially if you're coaching at a level where you're nervous about being able to execute this. Your first RPO doesn't have to be a post-snap decision. That's not a requisite of running a RPO. You've got these 2 plays. I've got a pass option here and a run option here, and I could make that decision based on numbers. Right? Now, you could allow your kid to count it, or you could call it out from the sideline. You could have 2 code words. If I say Chicago, I want you to pull it and throw it to the flat. If I say a state, if I say Illinois, you're going to run the ball, right? That's just a very generic example. Okay, what if you're running the ball very well in this game and they end up in something, because you're going to find this, they're going to stay in their true 4-3 here and maybe just slightly shift the safeties. Okay, we'll just kind of shift our safeties over because you've been running the ball so well this game, and now you run this counter GT flat tag. Well, look at these numbers. I've clearly got good numbers out here to dish this to the flat. All I've got to do, this guy, again, most dangerous, this guy has to make a decision. Is the safety the most dangerous or this outside backer? Either way, I've got good looking numbers to this and I've got an advantage. So that is the first RPO I would install. And I think it couples well with this second RPO, and that is their pop. They call it pop. And now on pop, just like your standard pop pass, the Y is going to take a slow little release and weave his way through here, and he'll be vertical. Okay? Now, we're not looking to hit him vertically at 20 to 30 yards. It's not a vertical shot. It's a pop pass. I'm trying to hit it in that window that's a few yards beyond the linebackers. And here at the end of the video, I'll clip in here 2 or 3 little clips from Coach Watson's presentation that'll show you his pop and his flat play in action. So I'll put those at the end if you want to see those. But now we're going to tag it with pop. Now, again, I can make this decision before the play starts. If they're out here and they've got this safety rolled down and they've got this safety over the top, then they obviously have no one with the proper leverage on this Y slipping vertical. They have no vertical threat. And then when you couple that with the GT action, because most good teams have eyes on guards, they're going to react to this GT action. These linebackers have to read and react and honor that. Then it does a really nice job of freeing up this Y pop. Some teams you'll see will leave a safety out. They'll bring this man out. Let me erase this linebacker here. This safety will play over to the top of these 3, and this safety is concerned and stays somewhat vertical and is fairly concerned with the backside. They're not real comfortable leaving this backside corner on an island alone with your one receiver. So a lot of safeties will leave it here. Just by nature of splitting the safeties, this safety has to honor 3 vertical threats, so he's got to play outside of this one. This one has to honor that you could threaten with this backside receiver, especially if you happen to be a team that leaves your best receiver isolated. And now just by nature of how far away, how deep the safeties have to play, how wide they have to play to honor your other threats, that little pop window right here stays available for you. And you couple that with the action of the counter tray, boom, that little pop pass. Again, I'll leave that. Right afterwards, you'll see that play in action. So these are it. These are the first 2 RPOs I would run. And when I saw Coach Watson, his presentation, it popped in my mind immediately. I went, that's what I would do. Those are the ones, right? Again, I've seen plenty of RPOs, and they're all nasty if you can execute them. I just always worry about the common program. Is it too expensive of an install? Am I willing to make this the main thing we do, right? And I don't know if I could, but this is less of an expense of an install. We could make the decision beforehand on the years I've got a quarterback I trust, or maybe he's in his second year in our program. I can give him more freedom to read it on his own. And until then, we could be reading it from the box and relaying some sort of code word in, helping him make that decision. Hey, throw this one here. Trust us, throw it, or let's hand it off. Okay. And then again, like I said, level 2 is being able to actually read this unblocked defender by your quarterback. And if you want to become a team that is reading, if you're going to take the time to invest in reading, certainly it can pay off. I think my chair is slowly shrinking. I just got this new chair. I brought it up from the basement, so it's an old one. I've noticed that over the course of this video, I've slowly gotten lower. Looks like it's time for a new chair. Hey, enjoy these clips at the end. If you want to see these, man, members can see these videos. It's currently on new release, but all of our new stuff stays on new release only for 30 days. Then it opens to our general membership. But all those membership options are below. We appreciate your support. Follow us on X to keep up and see a lot of little chunks of our premium content are available there.
So here's a first clip of it. So if we're looking at the film, okay, we're in our trips formation. We're running GT left, which is our Tesla. The guy that is circled is our read key. the quarterback sees the field and sees that we do not have a number advantage to the field. So pre-snap, he is thinking, either I'm handing this football off or I'm getting in it and getting what I can get. Quarterback scans the field. We're 3-on-2. If we leak the tight end to the flat, the guy that is checked is the nearest man who can actually cover the tight end. We teach our tight end, try to stay right at the line of scrimmage. I think we've ran some variation of flat probably 150 to 160 times over the course of the 3 years. We've been called for our tight end or receivers illegally blocking downfield one time. Okay, so based on their alignment, the Y is covered vertically. Yes. But that guard or that linebacker who is covering him vertically is also responsible for covering or for reading the guard. Okay, so the quarterback checks to see if the Y is covered. If we know that week that the linebackers are really, really good at reading guards and they react fast, we feel comfortable running pop. And I know a lot of people run pop off of some type of inside zone variation, but we've seen production increase dramatically when we pair it with that pulling guard.